Once you've established your foundations, Arek, what are your next steps as well with the people that you work with?
So it's basically 3 steps.
Sure.
The first step is coming up with the whole strategy. So we have to know why we're doing that, who are we targeting, who do we have to appeal to, what do we want them to take from it, what do we want them to do with it, how do we want them to act. So every image, every frame, every piece of content I'm putting out there is curated to a specific purpose, and it's created specific to that purpose. So the creation of that content, that's kind of the daily work, but that's not the exciting bit, right? The exciting bit is coming up with all the different possibilities and coming up with this vision for the future, and then production element is just executing it. And the final stage is then implementing it, because I can create amazing videos, I can create amazing photographs, but if people don't use them or don't use them right, they're not going to bring them the results. But knowing what we want the final product to do is crucial in production and then in implementation. So it's any of those 3 elements by themselves don't really do much. You have to have all 3 put in place. This 1, 2, 3 punch kind of thing.
Interesting. And you also have that overarching objective.
Yes.
So you really, how do you come, because this is a very interesting process, and every person in any creative industry or any business has a slightly different approach. What's your approach to finding and really honing in on this objective, and how you can maximize the results for your client and or your client's audience?
Yeah, so it's all about being very specific.
Okay.
So for example, we can talk about personal branding, because I think a lot of your audience will be interested in that.
Yes.
So then the person becomes the brand. Their position in the market is very important, how they're being received and everything else. And we have to, one of the things we're discussing is, who are we speaking to? Who are your clients? What would they like to see in a person that you want to represent? What sort of experience you can offer to them? What else do you do? How do you do it? Who are you with? Where do you go? All those things we answer, right? So we have this picture of a person, and then we just create images specifically from all over that picture. And for example, so if I'm talking to a client, I need to know where that photograph or that movie is going to be put, right? So if it's going to be on the website, it's going to be a big header, it's going to be different than a profile photo for LinkedIn. It's completely different composition, completely different everything. So it has to communicate different things. It will be cropped differently. So everything is different about it. And I won't take a photo until I know where it's going, because I cannot feel comfortable creating it without knowing what it's going to achieve. So, and the same thing can be done from 15 different angles. So then that's where the creativity comes in. So when we're doing just a basic headshot or a simple promo video or something like this, there's hundreds and hundreds of ways to do it. And then matching the way that the artist can create to make it congruent with the subjects or clients' vision for themselves and vision for the future. That's where the key is. But all the technical aspects to make it work in the final stages have to be kept along the way.
And that's where your subject matter expertise comes into play. All those variables, they're infinite, really, because every business is different. Therefore, every business, requires that particular attention. And that's fantastic that you are so clear from the outset with what you want to achieve and also why you want to achieve it, because ultimately both of our clients that we work with, they're time poor to an extent, and they really do need something to have maximum value. So when they can use that on multiple platforms, whether it be their socials, whether it be their website, whether it be in promotional videos, if they have certain product or service offerings, with really woven into the texture of that particular product or service as well. So I delight as well in having the opportunity to work out, okay, so how can we use this particular piece of writing or presentation, as I mentioned before, I do the public speaking too. How can we assist someone to use this in as many ways as possible, where it's still highly relevant, very important, and it's not so far out of context that their audience can't understand and see the connections. So that's something, you know, that I am very mindful of as well.
So I usually produce something for a very specific purpose, but once that's created and it's doing its job, then we can look at ways how we can repurpose it. So the same image, same video can then be used somewhere else with minor tweaks perhaps, because it was created for a very specific purpose, but doesn't mean it ends there. We can then chop it up, use it, recrop it, we can change it up and use it in other ways for the benefit and kind of to recycle the same content in many different ways.
Thank you for joining us to uplevel your business, skills, and knowledge. Click the links below and subscribe to the Clarified Solutions social media platforms to receive regular updates. Weekly resources will be provided, along with gifts, to assist you in your journey in upleveling your business expertise and confidence. We look forward to continuing to support you in your journey as you become the leaders and the business experts you wish to be.